Top 4 Weapons in Roblox Big Paintball. Hello guys, welcome back to another fantastic video from Roblox. This video is going to be about the 4 top weapons that are available in Roblox Big Paintball. So let's dive into the video. In Roblox, the big games developed the Big Paintball, which is an FPS war game. For the curious, FPS is the short form of frames per second, which is basically used to measure the frequency. In this war game, killing your enemy players helps the player to unlock the most. Paintball guns are used against the enemies to kill them. Depending on the gun, it can be slower or faster. The further away the enemy the player is, the more bullet drop the player gets. If the player switches to a gun with a faster shooting velocity, one piece of advice is to aim higher and then there will be fewer bullet drops. Also, if your enemy player is moving, try to predict the direction in which he is moving and then try to aim at the position before he reaches the spot. These are some of the tips to have more kills in the game without dying. Make tons of kills and have a score streak to unlock the weapons the player desires. If the player could kill a certain number of enemy players, the player can get a score streak. It is like if you kill 4 enemy players without dying, the player can get a raider. If the player kills 8 enemy players without dying, a sentry gun can be possessed. Simultaneously, for 11 and 80 kills, the player can possess a drone and nuke, respectively. Let's look at what these are. Beginning with radar. Radar requires 4 kills, and simply describing it can be used to locate the enemy players. By killing the enemy's radar is one of the first abilities that's supposed to be unlocked, and quite interestingly enough, Sentry is the next one to be opened by kills. After targeting a minimum of 4 enemy players, radar can be unlocked. It can be utilized effectively to find and tag the enemy players hidden behind the walls, and it can be activated by clicking the Z key. It is beneficial in classic games where the enemy players may conceal in the bridges or behind the walls. Every enemy is marked with a purple diamond. The main goal of the player is to use radar is to show all the positions of the enemy players simultaneously. If the player doesn't have any idea of where the enemy is, then use the radar, but unfortunately, it cannot be used to locate the sentries. The sentry gun requires 8 kills and it can be used to kill the enemy players automatically. It is the real reason why it is deployed. The sentry, which is also known as the turret, is the second ability that can be obtained by the players. This ability will help to create a sentry that is supposed to kill the enemy players within range automatically. A single player is supposed to have a minimum of 10 sentries placed on the map simultaneously. They do not deliberately fire at the enemy sentries that are placed within a range. The sentry should be put in a spot where the attackers cannot kill it from a distance. Place them either in the corners of the maps or at the top of a ramp, and ideally it can also be placed behind the most unsuspected walls to execute the enemies. Be extra careful not to put them in open places since they can be detected and destroyed easily by the attackers. Sentries are incredibly effective in near shooting upon the enemy players because the rate of snipers fire is too weak to damage the sentry gun. To unlock the drone, 11 kills are required and it is used to fly above the head of the enemy players. It can also be used to shoot the enemy players automatically. The drone is the third ability that is supposed to be unlocked with kills. It can be activated by clicking on the C key. The drone floats above the head of the player and it shoots at enemies that are near or within a range. It can be attacked, destroyed, and killed by enemy players. Still, fortunately, this is supposed to be very difficult to do because it is relatively more minor in size and moves speedily. The drone can be effectively utilized to finish the sentry guns. Also, drones can kill enemy players within a partition. It is advised to aim for the player when being overwhelmed by someone with a drone so that the player can end up defeating both the drone and the player, which is pretty cool. However, if you're not able to shoot at the player, then it is recommended to take out the drone. The drone floats right above the head of the player and thus helps to confuse players and fast kills manipulating the drone. You can also use the drone to generate kills on specific maps in huge numbers. The nuke requires 80 tags or kills to be opened. It is supposed to fall on the map and destroy everyone without the protection of spawn. It also eliminates all the sentries and drones. The nuke is paramount in the FFA game mode. Unfortunately, it is deemed to be off-limit use in TDM only because of the protection from spawn. Most people run crazy over to grab the nuke and then they use it to launch it as quickly as possible. Even then, the nuke is supposed to be saved and used when it is most productive. This was all for today's video. See you guys in our next video. Till then, stay tuned.